is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. The guys got you piling in early today. We got Albert in the house. Good morning to you. We got Anna, Bill, Frank. Good morning to you, Jenny. Good morning to Jason J, Jeff, Kevin. Good morning, Lauren, Marius. We got Miguel. Good morning, Micus. We got Paul. We got Is that AI Paul? I'm not sure. I'm not sure which Paul, but that's Paul. Good morning to you. We got Rick. We got Tina. We got Win. All my peeps out YouTube land. Richard Jet. Good morning to you. We got Santilla. Good morning. Santilla says, good morning, Sir. Tesla earnings going lower? Oh no, I don't know. But you hitting the hot topic right out of the gate. I love it. Yeah, we'll have to see. I wish I was that good, but we'll get into Tesla in a second. We do have SPY gapping up a little bit, so still inside day from yesterday. Yesterday's bounce came at an interesting spot. So far my little thought process that probably a lot of the selling is in, at least for the moment. Again, I'm not expecting it an all-time high yet. I'm probably actually going with the ladder on that one where we get that kind of rollover, but we'll see what kind of news comes out, what kind of earnings comes out. But this is the one I'm kind of banking on, and then we have a run up to just above 510, maybe into this like 517 zone. Obviously, we have a lot of resistance in the way. You could get some chop first. But so far we got the bounce kind of where we thought we were gonna get it. They hit that one after hours on this day. Kind of came back, did a full-on retest, so that's good. Yesterday's bottom wick right into that little support zone. So we're still in chop fest, I think, a little bit, but with more edge to the bull side, and we've been bouncing a little bit nicely, just ahead of a lot of earnings coming out. And like Santilla said, we do have Tesla later today, but looking for maybe a little bit of a retest since this is inside. So maybe come down to like this 568. Did they do this pre-market though? Let's see. What did we get down to pre-market? After hours, we hit 498.80. We started to bounce, and then yeah, we're using that 500 level, so we kind of got right down into that. I got the 200, at least on a 3-minute chart, sitting somewhere back at that 500. We are above the VPOC for today, so the market's not going to make it easy. Do we want to try to retest that again in live hours? Would be my question. Or was that pre-market enough? I do have resistance sitting at 501.66, so I think that's going to be a little bit tougher to break out of. Although we did do it once yesterday, it will make it a little bit easier to break through that. So I would love to see a pullback first. Would love to see it back to 555 live hours, just being an inside day. This close into this resistance, which I don't think is a strong one, and the next target for me would probably take me up to this 504.15 zone. Maybe we see 504.84. It's not too far away. But somewhere in that range, and then maybe we could get some kind of pullback double top. Again, I don't think it's going to be a straight line up, and then we have to see again like what the earnings are coming out with, and Jerome Powell and Fed rate cuts, and we get back into all those headaches. And all of it is providing we don't get any geopolitical headlines coming out randomly, because we we have had that as well. So I don't know. Inside day yesterday on the Qs, but we kind of came down. We're still holding that 415.83. So we marked that spot. We're gapping up above yesterday's VPOC, so relatively bullish. Qs have a few interesting spots to hold us back. The main target for me, though, on Qs would take me up to about 424.42. Otherwise, I do have a moving average right here at 420.86. Yesterday was an inside day. We're still inside the inside day to double layer that. We have probably the opening price of that big red candle with some good volume. That would be somewhere to the effect of 422.21. And then if we could break out of that, we're running into our 424.24 target. Providing that it's not a wick up there. And again, I don't know if that happens today, or we might need another day or two just to build up to see what happens. But providing this candle is just not like a straight wick, and then we come back down, we close in here, and it looks trappy. Then we just kind of hang out for a little bit. If we can get a close above this candle from Friday with that volume, I think that would say a lot about the bulls just trying to come back in. And then we got targets to about 432. So we're gonna need a close above Friday's candle. We do have a path to get there. It's just a matter of how strong the bulls want to close. But keep in mind, today is an inside day of yesterday. We'll check on TLT. If we get any love from TLT, and I'm not buying it again. So they had a decent day. All of it was a retest yesterday. Not a great gap whatsoever on TLT. This is a bearish gap and go. We do have the support that should have held 88.73. We're below that one. Next target takes us back to, which we did retest this one time, and that gets a little scary, but we got 88.41 should give us a little bit of support, but we were kind of already retested on that one, and we'll see if that can hold again. But see if that one comes down. It's been chopping for the last few days, and still looks a little bit weak. So TLT bonds, aka supposedly the smartest people in the world, not really buying it. Not buying it yet. Albert says GM. Is that good morning, or because I know GE is moving? But let's see GM. Yep, we're going with ticker GM today. General Motors. So they had earnings. They got a 23% beat to the higher side. They got a 4.67%. How is this going to relate into Tesla earnings? Albert says it was good morning, not the stock. We're here now. This is the reality we're living in. Really good gap on GM, regardless. This is a retest gaps. I'd see if this one wants to pull back a little bit. 44 or 45, 45 is a decent spot. Was maybe we come back into this 45.19. Yeah, for GM, that is really good. We got lots of room on this chart. It's definitely not all-time highs. I think we were looking at this one on a swing room one time. We were trying to play an entry down there. Could have just been a buy hold and we would have been happy. Really good gap though. The next point of resistance isn't really until $48. We actually have a little bit of up room on this one too. I think this will be a good one for a nice little red high wave candle out of the gate. We actually sold into this too the last couple days. My guess came down with the rest of the market. Again, the question is, I didn't see the report. Oh, no. I lost it. GM. I did add it, right? Hold on a second. GM. It stayed at the bottom. Thanks a lot, TradingView. Thanks a lot. I wonder if they sold a lot more units. Yeah, they got it up too. See, Tesla, I'm trying to think if this is going to play well for Tesla. If they're like, no, lots of people buying cars, that might be a little bit surprise side to Tesla if the car industry itself is growing, because I think Tesla will inevitably sell some more cars. But then the question is, how many electric cars are they selling for GM? Is there a need for electric cars in general? But we do have earnings on Tesla today, so we'll see how this one plays out. Again, they don't have to do a lot. They really don't have to do a lot they have to have some kind of positivity. I don't know how far that positivity is going to take us, though. We'd have to have a crazy, crazy good beat, I think, to get above this 163.56. Maybe. Otherwise, we're just in a straight spiral down. Again, we have some volume down here, so right around this 140. If we start to lose it, I got 127 next little spot, and then really back down to this 122. So I might try to play this ahead of earnings. I might try to buy some calls. just to see what happens. Uh, Risking an R. So if they don't pan out, fantastic. I'll lose the R. Just because the bar is set so low, I think everyone is just so negative on Tesla right now. And then GM did have good earnings. So we'll put this on the list. We'll see how this wants to play. Yesterday was a gap down retest gap, so not really that shocked that we have a green candle from yesterday. We did our best impression of a retest. We didn't even quite get there yet, so we're still leaving another gap open here. We have another gap at 154 to fill. Somebody said Gap City yesterday. Yep, we got 162.34. So a lot of gaps up on this one that probably will be filled at some point, and we are pretty overextended to the downside. Got eight pre-market. Got eight pre-market Tesla on 3. Eight pre-market. No clue what you're saying on that one. Got 8 pre-market on Tesla. On 3, 37, 7. Are you okay, Win? Win, do you need I could call some medics if you need. I could. I I don't know what's going on, Win. GM units sales, but I'm completely lost, Win. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk in sentences. Win just didn't have coffee yet. Okay, I get that. I can vibe with that. The one thing in pre-market though, you do have a really big high wave candle. Again, this is right at 8, so this could lend into the Robinhood dump. I believe also I saw an article yesterday that New York Stock Exchange were sending out surveys. Hey, do you guys get a survey? I didn't get a survey, but they were asking how everybody was feeling about maybe a 24-hour trading market. So maybe that comes sooner rather than later. I think that's the direction we end up going into anyway. But I don't want to add more dumpage at 8 a.m. Maybe that adds more consistency. But this is all the Tesla dump from after hours, and that's about it. But look for support right around 142.88. So if we do get a little bit of a pullback, maybe that's a spot if you're going to try to play some calls going into tonight's earnings. I'd probably go about 2 standard deviations out, something like that, as an attempt to try it. But otherwise, Tesla again, little high wave and big day coming out. So most likely probably some chop on that one, unless you got some shorts trying to take some profits. This is my bullish case for today. Maybe some of the shorts might want to lock some gains in prior to earnings, and then you have some bulls going like, we are down a lot. Might be worth an opportunity. So we'll see what happens on that one. Now 8. Oh, 7 green. You talking about how many green candles there are? Oh, I see. Okay. All right. All right. Just make sure that's not decaf. You need like a espresso. All right, we got MU. If you guys have tickers you want to take a look at, let me know. All right, so I drew out the 50% and the 618 retracement on MU. It looks like we pegged it to the penny. Maybe went a couple pennies below, but we have the 618 at 105.89. And looks like so far we're getting a little bounce on this one. We do have some room on it too. Again, retest gap from yesterday. This is an inside day candle. So we're actually playing more off this candle, which would be a gap and go, but still inside on this one. So unless this one wants to open up, and I think that would diminish some of the potential gains. But if this one wants to open up somewhere around 110, 98, 111, we do have a lot of room on this. We're probably first stop though, 111.97. So basically 112 to 112.63. So would like to see this one pull back as well. And I also want the SPY and Qs to pull back a tad as well. So hopefully we can get that. And then somewhere around 109.58 would be where I want to kind of throw my entries. Stops could be right below this candle if you're trying to swing trade it. Stronger chip stocks though, really still just Nvidia. Even though Nvidia's been down last couple days, Nvidia's still been holding. I mean, we're not seeing the big dips that we saw in SMCI. AMD, we've kind of lost it after the 227 zone. and then just been nonstop downward. And through all that, Nvidia's been holding pretty strong. So I still think Nvidia is more best in breed. But some of the other chip stocks, if Nvidia wants to get going, this still does look like a big. It doesn't even. It looks like a head and shoulders, but this one was actually a higher high, so it's not really a head and shoulders on Nvidia, but it's a decent little pullback. We're also above some key support on this one with this gap up today. So gap up on this one should be about 799.74. We'll call it $800 even. We struggled with that zone for all of yesterday, or when we were at the high end. Very tough to break through that 800. Now that we did, next target up on this one takes me to about 818, 819. So we have some room on Nvidia. I wouldn't mind playing that one bullish as well. Maybe we could look for some pre-market breaks. See if that wants to play out today. Jason says Spotify, SPOT. Spotify. I feel like this one's been tricky to day trade. I don't. It always does the. It always kind of gets there. Just takes like 6 days longer than I think it should. Uh, nice gap though. This is not on earnings either. Earnings are coming out when? Tuesday, next Tuesday. Sector. Let's see what we got on Spotify. Spotify was up more than 10% after reporting that it swung to Q1 earnings as revenue increased during the period. Not even sure what that means. Swung to Q1. Maybe I need the coffee today. Did that make any sense to anybody? I don't know. Wayne, did you write that article? Spotify shares rose 10% after the company reported it swung to Q1 earnings. I'm not even positive what that means, but it sounds like that deserves 10%. I don't I don't I don't know. Oh, it did have the earnings. So they came out with earnings prematurely. Oh, that's different. Uh-huh. Okay, that's different. Because I was looking, I was like, they don't have earnings yet, but they jumped ahead. They pre-released earnings. Okay. Today's the no, today's not the 23rd, is it? I thought that was next two. Today is the 23rd. Ah. All right, so then TradingView, okay, because they just came out. All right. Whew. Man, yeah, mine's decaf. Mine's decaf. Ooh, that's crazy. How are we at April 23rd already? That's nuts. But good gap. We are into a little resistance up here. We got 304.69. Otherwise, the higher target is about 310.60. I would probably attribute a lot of this volume then to the earnings. See, I was looking at this whole different. I was thinking next Tuesday we got earnings. We got some random good volume coming in yesterday. That might be enough, but I think that volume is the earnings. So yeah. Crap at work. I don't know if it's the stuff I'm smoking or not smoking, but I gotta do something. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Crazy. But we'll keep spot up a little bit higher on the list. Uh-huh. So they came out with earnings. So you're telling me exactly when they told us they would. That's wild. That's crazy. All right, we got SMCI and then GE I see is in there as well. SMCI. Uh, hmm. Gap and go. We do have a little bit of a bear trap, pretty decent one actually from yesterday. Trying to get underneath this pivot where the low of the day come in, so kind of hit this 683, 84 zone. I think if anything, I'd be looking for dead cat bounce. That still means that you got about $30 in SMCI, so that could take us up to about 760.77. And then if we start to breach that, the next immediate stop I think would be 783.24. And then probably more or less looking for about 818. That might be a little too high. Kind of looking for a 618. If we're starting a 618 from this red candle when this move actually started, then at 818, 819, Actually, about 830. It could be about $100 higher. I'm gonna put this one on the list too. This one could be sneaky. I do like that hammer a lot yesterday. Obviously, not a huge fan of this volume, but again, the sell-off wasn't really based on much. It's more of what they didn't do as opposed to what they did do. So I think you do have a little bit of profit taking on this one. What's up, Matthew? So I think you had a little bit of profit taking on some just nervous investors, like how much higher is this thing going? I'm up massive. And then they came out and they said, like, we're not gonna give I don't know if it was guidance, but something that they've been doing forever. So I think you have some people a little bit scared on this one, and that caused most of that drop off. So again, if the market wants to start to rally, Nvidia wants to start to rally, that could be a good sentiment for SMCI. We do have to watch out for that first target, 760.27. That's gonna be a tough one to break. But if we could get there, I do like the fact that we're above that VPOC as well. Yep, I'm gonna keep that on the list. So SMCI might be decent for a bull play today. And then again, if you want to try to play this thing, they have earnings. Today is not the 30th either, is it? We have earnings on the 30th, so that's the last day of the month, unless this is one of those months that go to 35 days. But throwing a stop underneath that hammer could make a lot of sense. So you're risking about $40, $70. So you got about a $70 risk, and then I mean the real volume zone is up here 975. So even that's 2-3 Rs. So not a bad even for a swing trade potential. Be prepared to stomach some crazy moves though. AVGO. Broadcom. This one also watch the spread on this one for day trades. It is massive. Uh this is like the training wheels for SMCI. Actually I don't know. Maybe this one gets more volatile than SMCI. Not sure. Very similar-ish look. We got a good bounce off some moving averages, which is nice. Inside candle, indecision. Not as much of a trap on yesterday's candle as we had on SMCI. Resistance on this one, the first spot we got to get above is 1238.59. And then the next little target, I think, could take us to about 1256.84. And then I don't know if this is today, but the way it moves, it could 1266. So it's got some decent room to the higher side. Again, if you want to try to swing it, you've got really, really good support right around 1200. So having a stop underneath that can make some sense. You really starting to build a little bit of an uptrend, but pretty strong down move already. This could be some kind of relief rally. So I don't know how long I'd be in this thing, but obviously this thing is long-term bullish. Like it's crazy bullish. It's already moved a lot. Key volume going to come in right around this 1255 zone. And then if we could break that, we're probably back to this 1338. So clear double top on the screen. I wouldn't mind trying it long. I don't know how long I'd be in it for though. Miguel says Supermicro Computers SMCI shares are falling Friday after the company announced its third quarter earnings release date and did not provide preliminary estimates as it has done in the past. Yep. Yeah, so it was more of what they didn't do. And then I think everybody's like, well, why? How come you don't want to play along? You're playing in a different sandbox right now. That's it. GE had some earnings up 26% earnings per share. They did miss surprise miss of 75 million. Market doesn't care. This has been the most bullish stock I've seen in quite some time. But we've got rejected here a few times. Let's see if we get a little profit taking, a little bit of a pullback. See how 157.33 wants to hold, so about $1 less than where we're at now. And if we get that pullback, great. If it doesn't hold, next spot down is about 156.22. Otherwise, good volume on this day. We're trapping any bears here. This is a clear, like, you don't have a reason to get out of this trade, even if the market's starting to rally a little bit. Yesterday, just trying to pull back. But that looks like a good breakdown, and now we're taking out 3 days of bears, so I have to keep this one pretty high on the list as well. Maybe another high wave setup that we could take a break on. This will be pushing into all-time highs though, so besides those 3 days of people shorting or selling, everybody else is pretty profitable on this gap up, which I don't love as much. Kevin's gonna be watching FSLR for solar. These guys are back to 180, 180 again, huh? Yeah, already a good move. Nice little consolidation. Not at all-time highs, which is good. We got the major volume below us in this consolidation that we had a nice break on. This was a nice little pullback. Volume spot that you kind of want to hold is 177.08. We're above that on this gap up. Target probably about 184. And then if we start breaking at 184, we got a lot of room on it. Yep, decent gap up. Nice little high wave candle. Good little bear trap down there. It's just got to get a little bit higher, 178.37. And then I got targets for day trade purpose about 182.58. And then after that, maybe we see that 184, which is right where we said in terms of volume. So we'll get that one a little bit higher on the list too. I would prefer, so on a trade basis, I would prefer a bit of a pullback on this one. Still inside day. Depends on where this thing wants to open. But yeah, if we open above here, I love it bullish. And we've already came up. We retested that. We almost retested that too. But otherwise, I'd like to see a little pullback into that region. So that would be somewhere around 175.60. Right around that spot. And then I think we get good risk reward, even if you want to try to swing trade it. Stop is about 170. And see if that could carry out. But plenty of room if we could break that 184. The next real volume spot that I have, a little one at 200. And then we got another one at 202, and we start to get a little heavier into volume up there, 200 to 210. Decent amount of room, though. All right, we'll see how that plays back. Great consolidation. Nice little longer-term double bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC within that region. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Oh, we got PMI coming out at 9:45. All right. Pepsi beat revenue. So that's the morning bell already. First is April 23rd. Now is this. That's crazy. Yep. So Pepsi looks like it's gapping down a little bit after earnings, but they did beat on earnings per share and on the revenue. But again, this one probably fades a little bit. Maybe look for that 50% retracement on this last move up. Otherwise, everybody out there in YouTube land, you guys are incredible. But that morning bell means I got to disconnect. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe.